Hello, here we are. I'm live and I hope you can hear me. I had a little bit of problem setting up the stream tonight, so it was my own fault. I did something silly. It's always user error, right? Usually is anyway. I'm just reading back through the messages. I'm so sorry it's been tough going for you, Jean. That's no good. Margaret, you were here 7 minutes early and looks like Jean was the only one for you to talk to for a while. Some of our early girls aren't here. Jodie's still away. And Jodie had some sad news this week. Her puppy died. And it's very sad. And I'm so sorry, Jodie, if you're watching. I don't think you are because I know you're still away. But I just want to tell you we're all thinking of you because I know how much your Bella meant to you. So very sorry to hear it. And Jodie's away for a couple of weeks. So she's our bling queen. And we'll just have to remember to add bling even though she's not here. Sunny, how you going? Nice to see you. Yep, everyone has had a reasonable week. There's lots of things going on with Stampin' Up at the moment. Positive energy, that's right. That's what we need. Hi, Margaret. 2 Margarets. Again, we have multiple Margarets. Hey, Nari. Hi, Katrina. Nice to see you. Joan, hello. Oh, it's always the tech's fault when it doesn't work. Not around here, it isn't. Yeah, I know, right, Sunny? Yeah. Oh, hey, Jenny. Nice to see you. Jenny, did you get your packet? Has your supply pack arrived? I'm hoping everyone's supply packs have arrived because our craft along is tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock. So I hope if you have any free time tomorrow afternoon, you can join me for a really fun creative project. Oh, thanks, Deborah. I know that if she's watching the replay, I don't think she's watching live because she's away. She's on a cruise. So this actually happened while they were gone, which is also hard. Hey, Anita, nice to see you. Yeah. Oh, that's good. You got it. Excellent. Good to hear. I know Deb said she got hers. Margaret Gordon said she got hers. So I know they're out there. And that means people are getting ready to craft tomorrow. So did you see the list of supplies? Because I put that on my blog. I'll put the blog address on the screen. So if you haven't seen the list of supplies that you'll need to craft with me, you can, here it is, there it is on the bottom of the screen. That way you've got all your bits and pieces, you'll know. So you're going to need blending brushes, you're going to need some pinks and purples. The specific colors I'm using, you can use the closest you have is Night of Navy, Orchid Opulence, and Polish Pink, those 3 colors. So it's very pinky purple. And we're creating a scene, okay, kind of I know it could be early morning, could be sunset, I'm not sure. But we're creating a scene with all the pieces that I've sent you. I'm going to use some masking paper. We're going to use the Majestic Mountain dies, but if you don't have those, I have an alternative for you, how you can create a similar look. Won't be exactly the same, but it'll be a similar look without them. So those are the main things you're going to need. But when you go over to that blog address, I'm just looking at it right now, actually. I just want to see what else I've left off the list. You'll need, if you want to have a greeting on the front, you'll need just I've given you a small label die. But if you don't have the supply pack, just any label die that you can put a greeting on for the greeting, which will just go over the top of our scene down in the bottom corner. What else is in there? Blending brushes is really important. You're going to need those. I think I said that already. Said the ink colors. Your cardstock will be basic white thick for the card base, Night of Navy for a matte, and either shimmery white or basic white for the main piece on top. You can use any adhesives you like, Tombow seal or tape, whatever you prefer, something that's what you normally use when you're sticking your card front on. And there is an option to use white pigment ink, but that's not necessary. I'm going to show you that, but it'll be like an added extra that you can add if you want to, but you do not have to. A pencil will be helpful if you're using the masking paper, definitely. And an eraser. That's pretty much it. Okay. Just looking to see if there's anything I've forgotten about that. I don't think so. That's everything that you're going to need for tomorrow. So that's going to be a bit of fun. Who's excited? I am. That's cool. All right. Okay, I'm going to be looking at a few things tonight. You may have also heard, if you're on my VIP group, you already know this because I posted it there, but we are coming up on the 1st of December. Our retirement list hits. That's retiring from this catalogue, okay? This one's coming to an end. Can you believe it? This catalogue started in July, so July to December. It's interesting because it will actually finish. It says July to December, but it actually will finish on the 4th of January because the new catalogue and celebration starts on the 5th of January. So it goes up until the day before. That's going to be different next year. This year we've had, so what's that, July, August, September, October, November, December, 6 months worth of catalogue and a few days. But next year they're changing to a new pattern. The annual catalogue, obviously, that's annual, so that will still be annual and it will go for a 12-month period. But the 2 mini catalogues are only going to go for 4 months each, which means we're going to have 4 months where we don't have another catalogue just for us to concentrate on the annual catalogue. But because what tends to happen is people forget about the annual catalogue because they're all so excited about all the shiny new stuff in the mini, and then we forget about the annual, and there's still plenty of stuff in there to look at that I haven't even touched, you know, things that I plan to use or plan to do something with or purchase, and I haven't because I've been distracted with the minis. So to be honest, I think it's going to be better. So that's a new schedule. So the January catalogue won't go to June like it did this year. It'll go from January to April. January, February, March, April, 4 months. Okay, so that's a bit of a change. Kind of a big deal, right? All right, let me get rid of the banner off the screen and go back to the comments so I can actually see you. Oh, you've turned the TV off. How dare you, Margaret? Hey, Wendy over in the UK. Do you know what, Wendy? I'm very excited because I'm going on the Stampin' Up incentive trip next year, which is to Norway. It's a Norway cruise, but it leaves from Southampton, which means we've got to go to the UK first. So we're going to, I don't know for sure, but my assumption is we'll probably fly to Heathrow and then go down to Southampton. And I've never been to the UK before. So there you go. I'm actually staying with my beautiful friend Amanda, I'm hoping, for a couple of days. So we haven't worked out the logistics of that yet, but that's what we're hoping. So it's very exciting. Oh, I know. It's so great, Kim. It really is very, very exciting. So, oh, you got the list. Fantastic, Pam. That's terrific. Oh, that's okay. I'm just going to go back up and see if I've missed any. Orchid Opulence. Yes, I mean Orchid Oasis. I just keep saying that, Anita. Thank you for picking me up because I don't know why I have a block on it. Every time I say the word Orchid Oasis, I say Orchid Opulence instead because we used to have a colour called Orchid Opulence some years ago, but we did. So it's a little bit like we have also a colour called Calypso Coral, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with. I keep calling it Cameo Coral, which is a colour we had like 15 years ago. And I just can't seem to get past it. So does anyone else do things like that? Yay, Judy got her supplies today. Oh, that was in the nick of time, wasn't it? Goodness me. Oh, yes, we are, Jean. That's right. On the same day, although Susan's the day behind. So, yes, but we are technically on the same day. It just worked out that way this time. So Susan needed to change her schedule. So that's what happened. So there we are. I think I'm just going through and seeing if I've missed anything else. So Susan does a similar thing to what I'm doing, but she does written instructions. I do video tutorials. So we do it a little bit differently. But Susan has, hers is called Crafternoon. And she goes live once a month in a similar way to what I do. And then I'm doing a similar thing, but mine's called Craft Along. Okay, so very similar. If you're familiar with Susan Campfield at all, Susan is over in the US and she's my Stampin' Up bestie. And we work a lot. We work quite closely together. So she certainly has helped me with some tips and ideas on how to do my craft alongs better and how to set them up in a way that's going to work better. So, oh, hi Sunshine. That's such a nice name. That's cool. Nice to see you. Does he watch it with no sound? Is that good enough? Or does it need sound, Margaret? Yes, Amanda Fowler. That's right. Yeah. I've known Amanda since we met back in 2013 at an incentive trip way back then in Utah. And we've kept in touch over the years. We've been on a number of, so when we went to, for example, on the Med cruise back in 2016, we went, Amanda invited us to come on, they had like a minibus, and they had a space for 2 people. So they invited myself and my husband to come, and we've done quite a number of tours and things since then. But that day we walked up Mount Vesuvius, and we went to Pompeii, and went to a fantastic, this is very badly organized, it wasn't Amanda's fault, but what happened was we went out to this fantastic lunch in this beautiful vineyard on the slopes of Mount Vesuvius, just gorgeous. And then once we had a few glasses of wine, then we walked up Mount Vesuvius. Really, we should not have done that. We should have done it the other way around. We should have been doing the winery last, not before we tried to walk up a great big hill. But it was still fantastic and memorable and wonderful. And that's also where I got to meet Pip Todman, and also who I count as a good friend, and also oh, now I've gone blank. Oh no, that's terrible. I can see her face. It'll come to me. But hey, Joan, nice to see you up the road in Madawi. Hello. Hey, Michelle, you're back. We missed you. Didn't see you last week, but you did get mentioned a few times. Nicely, of course. You still have orchid opulence, Kim. That's awesome. Hey, Salt Vega. Hi. Yeah, my long-term memory is good, Sunny, just not so much the short-term memory. I have problems with the short-term stuff. But anyway. Hey, Margaret Janowski, how you doing? Oh, you got your supplies. Fantastic. That's really good news. We love that. So how this works, if anyone doesn't know, I do this craft along event that everyone can watch. It's public. Anyone can watch it. You don't need to have purchased from me. It's completely free. Okay. But if you did purchase from me the previous month, then you'll get a packet of supplies to make the project that we're making. So you can either watch and gather your supplies together as best you can from a list that I supply on my blog, or if you placed an order the previous month, you get the supplies all cut up, ready to go. Okay, just makes it a bit easier for those who've placed orders. And you just need to place an order of $60 or more through my online store or directly with me. It doesn't matter. Just it's the amount that matters, not how. And that will qualify you for the following month. The previous month is when you place the order. The following month is when we go live and when you get the supplies. So this month is all the people who ordered in October are getting this month's supplies, November. Okay, so people who've ordered in November will get the December supplies. And I can tell you a little bit about that right now. December, I'm planning on doing gift card holders and possibly a couple of treat holders, because I figured that it'll be like a week before Christmas. So with that close to Christmas, people might be looking for gift card holders and things like that. And I thought that might be a great way to go. So that's what we're going to do next month. You just need to get your orders through for if you're in Australia and you don't have a demonstrator already, just place an order through me, and then I will make sure that you get the supplies to make a fantastic little project next month. Okay, so that's what's going to happen. And I have scheduled it. Where's my diary? Here it is. I think it's the 17th, but let me double check that. I'll tell you right now. Yep, Saturday the 17th of December. So it's a week and a bit before Christmas. I know that's getting really close, and a lot of people will probably be busy. You won't be able to watch live. Doesn't matter. That's what replays are for. Okay, so you can watch the replay and do it in your own time whenever you like. That's right. All right, let me go down and see if I'm missing comments. Goodness me, you guys are talking faster than I can read. That's for sure. But that's okay. Oh, it was closed. Oh, what a shame, Kim. The day I was there in summertime, so it was not cold. So you were there in New Year's, that would have been cold. And no wonder there was ice. But yeah, I was there in the summertime. You know, it's interesting because it's still an active volcano. And we walked up and you can see the steam coming out of the vents. So yeah, it's kind of an interesting place for, especially when you've just been down to Pompeii and saw the devastation down there. And it's a long way from Pompeii to Vesuvius. It's amazing how far that lava must have traveled. Hey, Nicole, nice to see you. Hello in Western Australia. So it's, yeah, good afternoon for you, and it's evening here. You're 3 hours behind, right? Oh, hey, Shirley. Nice to see you. Nice to have you with us. All right. Shall we get started? Hey, Roseanne. Oh, craft stuff for too long. I know, right? Well, let me see what I can do about that. Let's fix it up and let's switch over to the desk and see if it's not quite straight. Let me see if I can straighten up that. Oh, it's not too bad. All right. So we've got our beautiful mini catalogue that's coming to an end. Now, the retired list is actually already out, okay? But the specials, when I say specials, the discounts on the discounted items don't start until the 1st of December. Now, I actually put the list out early this year for 2 reasons. First of all, I want you guys to be able to plan. So if you know that there are things in there that you want to, there's some fantastic bargains in that list, up to 60% off. Fantastic. If you're a demonstrator, that means you get your demonstrator discount on top of the 60%. So you really, really, really are going to be looking at a very small amount of money to get the things you want. So that's pretty cool. But it's not on everything, okay? There are some items that are not marked down at all, okay? Well, that was back in 2016, so it's a long time before anything like that happened, Anita. So that was what, 2019, was it? Something like that. So when that was it, yeah, that was pretty awful. That was a horrible volcanic eruption. Really horrible. But no, this was a long time before that. Anyway, looking through here, when you look at some of the things, I said there were 2 reasons why I released it. 1, so you can plan. 2, because there are some items that are not discontinued, but we know, sorry, not discounted, but we know they are going to discontinue. And if you want to, what I would suggest, if there's something you really, really want, if it's not discounted, why wait? Get it now. Okay, the reason I'm telling you this is because it hasn't happened in Australia yet, but in the US, I know that some of the items on the retiring list have already sold out, even though they're not discounted. Okay, so if you are really after something, if it's not discounted, there is absolutely no reason to wait. Get it now. Okay, however, if it is discounted, you'd be best to wait until the 1st and order it as soon as you can, because the 1st of December, for 2 reasons again, gosh, I'm saying that a lot tonight. The first reason is because you don't want it to sell out, obviously, if it's something that's in high demand. And the second reason is because if you leave it too close to Christmas, you may not get it in time for Christmas if you wanted it as a gift or to play with over the Christmas New Year break. So I would be getting my orders in early in December. Hey, Denise, nice to see you. All right. Does that all make sense to everybody? So if anyone needs a copy of the list, send me a message and I will send it to you. There's nothing sold out in Australia yet, Kim, but in the US, I believe there is. Okay, I've been told that there are some items that have already gone in the US, but not here. So, yeah, Cookie's here. Did you get to see? I posted a picture of him the other day. He came out and had a cuddle, and so I put a couple of pictures up. All right. Oh, there's a little birdie right there. Okay, so there are some fantastic things coming out of here. And as an example, I'm going to play with the Sweet Gingerbread set tonight because I was going to do it last weekend and then we got distracted with other stuff. I thought I'd play with it tonight because it's such a fun set. I really, really like this one. It's really, really fun. And then the stamp set is not being discounted. Okay, it's going to discontinue, but it's not going to be on sale. So you could get that one anytime. However, the dies will be discounted and they'll be very strongly discounted. So you definitely don't order the bundle. You're going to do better by getting the dies at the discounted price on the 1st. But you can go ahead and get the actual stamp set right now if you want to. Or if you prefer to get them together, because you might be thinking, well, I don't want the stamp set if I can't get the dies, then just wait until the 1st, but don't order the bundle, get them separate, because even though this is full price, the discount on the dies are going to be worth it. Okay, so that's an example of why you need to get your little list and plan and work out what is going to be the best thing for your pocket. I think that's a good way to go. So, all right, let's have a little look. This is a fun set. It's actually $32 here in Australia. It has 16 stamps and it's a photopolymer set. Okay, so not rubber. This one is a photopolymer one. Okay, now when I'm doing a big solid image like this or this one here, I would always use, because it's a photopolymer set and has no foam, I would be using a matte underneath it when I stamp such a big solid stamp. The greetings, you don't need to worry about those, but solid stamps, especially with a big one like that, definitely want to use a matte underneath. You're saving up for pre-order, Jean. I know. Exactly. I feel the same way. I also have some pre-ordering to do in December, so it's a toss-up whether I usually go down the pre-ordering because I want to have all my projects kind of sorted out so that when the new mini comes out in January, on the 5th of January, and the celebration catalogue, and we are allowed to show you the outside of those. They're very pretty. Okay, I can show them to you, but I just can't show you the inside yet. This is the celebration catalogue here. And here we have the mini catalogue. If you're a purple lover, you're going to love all the colours on that. I actually really like this card, but it's actually, there's so much in this mini. I think they could have maybe used the real estate on the front of that a little better, but never mind. It is what it is. All right, so this is a really fun set. I do really, really like it, and I am going to play with it because I can and because it hasn't sold out yet. So here we go. All right, I'm going to start. To got some white paper here. I'm going to keep to pretty neutral colors tonight with this. I'm deciding, as usual, I'm going to make it up as I go along. The gingerbread itself, the best gingerbread color, if you really wanted to make it look like gingerbread, is probably soft suede. Okay, but I think that's a little dark for my card today. I don't really want soft suede, so I'm going to go and I'm going to try crumb cake. All right, so you might notice my crumb cake looks green. I promise you it isn't. It's actually very much crumb cake, but the label of the sticker on the outside of my ink pad has the sun is, or the light or whatever has got to it, and yeah, it's gone green on the outside, but I know it isn't. I know it's not green. So I'm going to use a matte under here. I'm going to grab a block and I'm going to use my lovely big stamp. I'm actually going to cut, I'm deciding whether I want to cut this out or whether I'm just going to go. There's so many ways you can go with this. I mean, if you look here at the samples they've supplied, they've cut these out. Okay, so they've stamped them, this one in Blushing Bride and this one in Crumb Cake, and they've cut them out. Okay, it looks really pretty. This one they gave it a red roof, this one they kept it all in Crumb Cake. Looks good. Okay, up the back in our bundle section, where is our gingerbread? I won't be able to find it now. Did I? Oh, here it is. Found it. Okay, this one they cut out as well. Okay, so it does seem that they are leaning towards cutting out, and I maybe can do more with it if I cut it out. This one they use some DSP in the background, and they've also added some of that lovely flocked vellum. Oh, I should have got the flocked vellum out. Maybe I will. I like the flocked vellum. Don't you think the flocked vellum is beautiful? It's really, really, yes, thank you. I did realize, I checked to make sure I didn't dip my my book in my ink pad. Now I've inked this up, and because I've got a matte underneath, it should give me a better image than if I didn't use a matte. Yeah, there's actually a couple of my stickers have changed color. The crumb cake is definitely the most noticeable. All right. Oh, I've got some funny little, can you see them? I've got some little funny little marks. What's the bet that those are cat hairs? What's the bet? Shall we guess on that? So to get rid of little funny marks, I'm going to clean it and start over. And I've got cat hairs on here. Oh my goodness. Crumpet. And it's not Merlot. Merlot doesn't lose nearly as much fur as Crumpet does. I don't know why he loses so much fur. He's got less fur than Merlot, but maybe that's why. He's losing it all the time. But Merlot's got lovely big thick fur, but he does not shed nearly as much. All right, let me try again and see if we can get a better image. Because it's a solid stamp, it's always a little tricky, and that's why we got the matte. That's much better. I hope you can see this. Can you see much, much better that time after I cleaned it on my Stampin' Scrub? and start it over. Much, much better. Big difference. Hey, Susan, nice to see you. All right, so I'm happy with that. And I'm going to cut this off. You'll see why in a minute. Just going to use that. So we may have our cut and emboss machine in a little bit tonight. Maybe what I'll do is cut this down so it can go through my smaller cut and emboss machine, because that would make more sense. All right, so this needs to be less than 9 centimeters to go through my smaller mini cut and emboss machine, and I think that's probably the way to go. Depending on where it is, I need to find it. Oh well. All right, so what else are we going to need? I also want to use this piece here, and I'm going to use one of the dies because I want to have like a snow. So let me see. Oh, it doesn't want to come out. Here it goes. Right, so this one here, I love this. I think it's a really, really nice little, it's kind of whimsical looking to me. And I want to create a little snowy backdrop. Okay, so that's going to go through my machine. And once again, I need to make sure this is less than 8 or 9 is about right for the mini. Let's cut that down a little bit. All right, like this. And I may do 2 of these. Actually, I think I will. So I'm going to cut one this way, and then I'm going to cut one that way, so that I have 2 little hilly things. Right. And how wide do I want it to be? I don't want it more than 10 centimeters. So I'll cut that down, because then it's going to cut the ends off, which will make it easier. So you can see it's going to cut. It's going to cut from here to here, and I'm going to do it the other way, and it's going to cut from there to there. Okay. Does that make sense? You have black fur. I know. I'll tell you what. I wear a lot of black clothes, and I have been wondering how smart that is, because and my son also, being a 17-year-old boy, wears a lot of black. Every time he goes to work, he has to use one of those roller things to get all the cat fur off him before he goes to work, because otherwise he looks like he's been rolling in cat fur, right? All right. Let me grab. Give me 1 second. I just need to go and grab my mini. I actually don't know where I put it. Well, that's silly. How could I put my mini somewhere? Maybe it's in the cut and emboss bag. Well, we may be just using the big machine just because I don't know what I've done with the mini, but that's typical me. How could I lose a whole mini cut and emboss machine? How is that possible? That's okay. I know where the big one is. That's always right here. All right. I'm going to move this back because it's easier to see if I do that. All right. So first of all, I'm going to make my little hilly mountains. And I'm going to run this through. Grey's the best colour to wear, or grey's the best colour for a furry animal? Which one do you mean, Kim? Hard to know. And now I'm going to go back the other way. And it doesn't really matter how this looks, because they're going to sit one against the other to give the impression of snowy hills. I'm going to find my mini in a really obvious place as soon as I finish this video, because that's just how things work. All right, now let's cut our house, and I'm going to cut this house because that one is not nearly as good. And I'm going to need this again because I'm going to cut a couple of other shapes as well. All right, that's pretty good. Oh, I moved it a tiny bit. can see it cuts it out pretty well all the way around. So I put the mini back in a bag. The problem is, some of you may have heard me say this before, we have a guest staying over tomorrow night, and with that in mind, it means that we have to empty the spare room. And guess where everything goes when we empty the spare room? Everything that's in the spare room comes in here, and the spare room is our room where we how do I put it nicely? It's the room where we put stuff, if that makes sense. All right, I've got a piece of basic white card here. I'm just going to flatten down this edge. All right, and I'm actually going to put another piece on top, but I just want to show you kind of what I want to do with these. I want to have one in front of the other so that we end up with kind of like hills going backwards and forwards. And if you want to, the other thing you can do is you can turn them opposite directions, but I actually quite like how that's sitting already. So that's going to go on there. And I'm deciding, because it's a gingerbread house, and I'm thinking maybe I was going to use one of these, but I don't want that to be the same color. It's not going to stand out enough on that. So we've got a couple of options. I'm thinking that I may want a bigger circle. I think I do want a bigger circle. All right. Okay, so I'm actually going to work on this basic white piece. I've just made that decision. And what color shall we use? We're going to have crumb paper. I think I'm going to go with soft sky. Sorry, not soft sky. Look, there's another color. What colors will Linda say tonight? Okay, who remembers soft sky? That's another color we had some years ago. And the color I'm trying to say is pool party, which I still say soft sky sometimes. So here's my pool party. And I'm going to grab a blending brush that I've used for this color before. And I'm going to kind of, my house is going to be slightly to one side, so I'm actually going to put this down here towards the bottom, and I'm going to start with small circles and work my way out. And the first time you do it, it can look a bit rough. Don't worry, as we add more color, that will even out. And I want this to be reasonably a fairly big circle, only because if we're going to put a vellum circle, I may even go with a bigger one in front of that. Okay, we want to make sure that the color is coming out. And I haven't even decided for sure I'm going to use a vellum circle. I could do a vellum scalloped rectangle. That might look good, but I'm leaning towards a circular shape. All right, okay, kind of like that. And don't worry that the middle is messed up a little bit, because guess what? The house is going to cover that, right? Now I've got pool party ink all over my fingers because I stuck my fingers in the ink pad. So let's hope I don't transfer that to my card. I've got a little bit of a mark down there already, but that's okay. All right, so I'm going to pop this here, and I'm actually going to add dimensionals behind this. Yes, exactly. I know. Same, Jean. And yes, it's not good. So I guess everything's in here right now, and I can't find anything. They'll leave on Sunday, and then everything will go out of here back into that room. But I got to say, we're getting better at organising it. It's used to be all just mishmashed in there in cardboard boxes and who knows what else. But all right, so this one is kind of up on dimensionals. Can you see that? And then this one I'm going to probably put flat. Oh, I just realized that edge is going to have to go down a little bit further because it doesn't quite reach there. So I'm going to add, and I'm going to use Tombow behind this, mainly because it won't set straight away. So I've got a bit of time to move it. lift up those dimensionals a tiny bit, and it's sort of going to sit under there as well. All right, that's not looking too bad. All right, so we wanted a couple of kind of hilly bits, and then we've got our house, which is kind of here behind. It's going to pop out behind these little guys. So I'm deciding, do I want to add a vellum circle, maybe a larger one behind that, because I think that might look rather good, but I think it's not big enough. So for that, we're going to have to get our stylish shape stars. My stylish shape stars are always at the front of my I do have baby wipes, you know, and I know exactly where they are too, which is better than I can say for the mini cut and emboss machine, but I do actually know where they are. So I'm going to use the biggest one because that's quite a bit bigger than that. And let's cut ourselves a vellum circle because I think that would be a nice, or do we want to go with a different shape? Let's have a look. All right, so this is sitting like this right now. The other thing is you can have it going in between the two. So one, that might be better. What do you think? Maybe not. Because then one, I think because you can see the bottom of it, I think I prefer it behind. But before I do that, I actually want to do a little bit of stamping on this. We have in our little set here, we have a couple of fun little stamps for colouring in bits and pieces of this. So I'm gonna, this is the windows, and the windows are fun because they are positioned apart exactly to match the windows up with this. And I think I want to have like maybe like a glow coming from inside, but I don't want it to be too bright. So I'm going to go with soft So Saffron because that's a nice light. Yeah, that's dark enough. And I'm going to pop my windows in. And this is why this is a fun set, because everything kind of matches up. And I really like that it does. I like sets that everything kind of matches together. Of course, now we're going to need a door. And I'm thinking maybe some, well, we have a couple of choices. We can do a red door, a stamped door, like this one here, which is perfectly going to match up here. And that'd be fun. Or we could actually get glimmer paper and cut out the door, because we have a door die that I could cut out red glimmer paper. But I'm thinking maybe a red glimmery roof might be fun. That would be cool. What do you think about a red glimmer roof? Shall we do a red glimmer roof? I'm liking that idea. So I think I will stamp this. And I'm going to go with a soft red. So a soft red would be Sweet Sorbet, which is not really super bright. Let's see how bright it is. We'll stamp it off. It's brighty-ish. Not as bright as real red, but still red glimmer roof. Yes. If we stamp it a second time, it's pink, really, isn't it? Not really red. Maybe what I'm going to do is a compromise. We'll stamp it off really quickly, and then we'll stamp it here. I'm going to line that up. That's the good thing about photopolymer stamps. I didn't quite get it perfect, but you kind of get an idea. Oh, that looks rather good. Not too red, but red. All right. Now the other thing is, okay, that's looking rather nice, isn't it? We also have a stamp, which I really like, that's in here, a little heart stamp. I'm going to pop it on a block A because it's tiny teeny. And tiny teeny is always fun. And there's a little wreath as well, but I want to do a heart. I think a heart would be fun. And this one I think I'll just do full strength. And there's a little heart there on my house. I hope I didn't put it up too high. I think it's okay. And then I'm going to use, I've got this little piece here. We'll go over the heart a tiny bit, but I don't think it will matter. So I've got this bit, and I've got some red glimmer paper. I've also got, so what am I needing to cut? I've got red glimmer paper for my roof. I've got vellum for my big circle. I think we should stamp a couple of little pine trees. What do you think? See, isn't this a fun little set? I'm going to use the other side of that one there instead of wasting that. And I think for that I will use, do we want to go darker? You know what, I'm going to do garden green, but I'm going to stamp it off. I think that would be the way to go. So let me grab, I really like the little Christmas trees that are in this set because they're super cute. I'll show you how cute they are. Isn't that a cute little Christmas tree? Oh my goodness. And then when we stamp him off, that's a better color for what we want here. So, all right. So if I stamp, I'll do a couple. And I don't know whether I'm going to use, I'm not sure how many I'll use, but anyway, I might just use the light ones. They're very nice. All right, so we're going to do that. And what else do we have? They have some really fun little things. We have the cloud. The cloud is, could be, you know, cloud coming out of the chimney. That could be a part of that. Or it could be a, you know, you could actually easily make it into just a cloud in the sky, which is cute. We've also got the clouds. We've got clouds in other stamp sets as well, which also would be nice to cut out, and dies, like the ones in the Give It a Whirl dies. Some of you may remember the clouds in that are really cute. All right, so I'm thinking that this is going to go right here, like that. And do we think about the vellum? Oh, that's great, Susan. Can you use these stamps at all, maybe to add like tags or something? Because that would be fun. A gingerbread tag, that'd be cute. You could actually make a tag out of this and then attach it with a ribbon to the gingerbread houses, like to the cellophane that you wrap around them. All right, so I'm deciding whether I want to have a vellum circle, but definitely doing a red roof. It needs a roof, definitely. It looks naked right now, don't you think? And then I've also got my little trees as well. So those three things I would like to add to. So here's some. I think I've got enough in here to actually cut the roof. I certainly do. So that's going to go through. And then we'll get some vellum for this. And we're going to cut these little trees because they're super cute. How much fun are they? That. All right. Who has this set? Does anyone have? Do you think so? It's just fun. It's just really, really fun. And you could put a, you know, you could put the cloud up here, or you could put a greeting up the top, or you could have a greeting down the bottom. Really, it's up to you. You can really do whatever you like. Okay, I'm bringing this back in, and I'm going to move that out of the way. So can I just tell you, here's my philosophy on stamping. You should buy the stamp sets that you think are going to be fun to use. Yes, you need ones sometimes that are, you know, functional and so forth. You need ones that are going to meet a particular purpose. But I think there's a lot to be said for just having fun with stamping. And all of the paper craft that we do, pick stuff that is going to be a fun experience for you, because there's not enough fun in this world, I can tell you right now. So one of the things that we can do as stampers is to just have fun and start taking the time out, make time to have fun, because there's not enough of it. And if everybody spent their time having a bit more fun, I think the world would be a different place, don't you? I see people sometimes getting into all kinds of trouble on the news, and I think to myself, if only they had a bit more fun in their lives, they wouldn't be out there, I don't know, stealing cars or whatever they're doing. Who knows? I need more fun. Yep, buy what you love. And you know what? When I go looking through a new catalogue, because this is my business, I go looking and... Okay, I've done 3 little pine trees because I think 3 will be the right number. But But when I go looking, the first thing I look for is what I think my customers are going to like. And then I go through and think, what can I do? You know, what new techniques can I show? What can I, what can I do? No, I'm thinking about it from a business point of view. And then, you know what? I sit down with a cup of coffee and just go through it and work out what I want for me. What do I love? I did that. This set is definitely one that I just wanted to have because I thought it would be a fun set to have. But there's been a few in this catalogue that I've just bought for myself. Sometimes I am looking from a business point of view and buying things that are particularly good. But there's a few things, I'm just trying to think what they are now. I know in the annual catalogue there's a lot in there. And sometimes they're just things I don't even know why I like them. And if that happens, just go with it. Just get it because you like it. Don't worry about why or how. Just do it because it's fun. And then it's something that's just for you. And I think that's a really good thing. Ooh. Let's pull that through. And have a glittery roof. So the only thing I've got left now to cut is my vellum circle. Anita, I saw you voted for the vellum circle. Oh, Jean, you're heading off. Sorry to hear that, but it's lovely to have you with us, and hopefully you might make it tomorrow for the crafternoon, because that's going to be 5.5 hours earlier than this. Okay, so it'll be 2 p.m. my time, which is Sydney time. For anyone who wants to know, I'm on the same time zone as Sydney. I'm not in Sydney, but that's my time zone. And yeah, I'm hoping as many of you can make it tomorrow as we can possibly get together, which would be awesome. So I'm grabbing some vellum now. And I'm just going to cut it down so that it will go through my machine. Because if I don't cut it down, it won't fit. I've just ordered more vellum. I don't like it when I get low. Vellum's something I never want to get low in. All right, here's my big circle. Oh, Carol, that doesn't matter. That's what replays are for. You can always watch the beginning later if you like. But we're making a fun card, and we're just talking about how important it is to have fun when you do this thing. This is the whole purpose, okay? If we're not having fun, what point? What point is it? Yes, there might be some function to making cards, but if it's not enjoyable, if it's not fun, you might as well just go out and buy a card. Did I say that? Yes, I did. But the whole purpose of this is to have a fun experience. All right, so this is going to go in behind this, and I think it does look better. Do you think so? Do we like the circle? I think that looks better. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to glue this straight on. I'm not going to lift it on dimensionals or anything like that. I'm just going to glue it straight on. And I want it to come up a little higher than my house. And then that's going to slide in there behind. Right. And so the sponging still comes out at the top there. So and we're going to put that behind the house so that you can't see the adhesive through the vellum. Lift it up and just slide it in so it just goes in behind there. And we've got a bit of time because it takes a moment for the liquid glue to dry, so it takes you can get it into the right spot. Okay, just like that. All right, so here's our little roof. Ah, how good does the little roof look? Isn't that cute? Look, that's super sweet. I love the glitter. That's awesome. You can just put that straight on, but I'm tempted to put it on mini dimensionals, which is going to be a little challenging because it's quite small. Let's see if I can do it. I'm going to see. I can manage it behind a couple of the bigger loops, the bigger scallops. So 1, 2, and I think I just need a third one. Okay, that's going to hide them okay. And I just think it'll have a little bit more oomph if we put it on dimensionals. But you could, if you can't be bothered doing that, it'll still look lovely. So I'm going to pop that right there on the roof. There we go, like that. That's cute. What do we think? Do we like this? Okay, we've got our little trees. I think they're important. And I think I'd like, I think I'll have a tree coming out behind the snow here, and then one up here, like this. So I think that looks rather good. I'm just going to stick these straight down because they're going to be behind the snow. Hold it in place so it just sticks while that multi-purpose glue dries. And then just a little bit over the edge of the house there. And then this one, I'm deciding, do we want that one maybe? Do we want that one maybe popped up? We could do a little pop-up. This one will be in the middle there. And two little mini dimensionals will fit nicely behind that. Right. Move that one slightly. All right. Just like that. It's looking cute. I do very much like it. Oh, absolutely. Carol, that is so true. I agree with you totally. Yeah, we don't want that to happen, Nicole, do we? Oh, I'm just looking here to see who else we have and if I've missed any comments. Everyone's saying hello to Carol. No such thing as late. Hey, Gina, nice to see you. Hi, Joanne. Right, it could be a cyclone. Yes, could be indeed. All right, so now my question is, what will I do? Will I place, we've got some nice sentiments here. This one says, have a sweet Christmas. This one says, from our home to yours. This one says, sending love. They're all really nice. If I use the sending love, I could put it here at the bottom, and I could put the cloud at the top potentially. I have also got, let me find it, I have also got white glimmer, which could be used for something, but I've got red glimmer, so we don't need the red and the white glimmer. They come in a pack together. I think they're only $8.75. They're really inexpensive, and I think they're a really fun thing. I could have used white on my roof, white glimmer. Do you think the red is better than the white? Should I have gone with white? Our home to yours. Okay, if I'm going to use that one, Anita, I think I'll pop it at the top, and that would be fine. So let's see. From our home to yours is this one. It's a nice kind of a whimsical little font too. I kind of like it. It looks kind of playful, and I'm deciding what color to use. I'm thinking maybe the green. That would be a good choice because there's not a lot of green in it, but it's a nice dark color. And then I think I'm going to call this. We'll put some bling on it because, you know, Jodie's not here, but you can still put bling on. From our home to yours. Look at that. It's very cute. Oh, this tree's going sideways, but you know what? I don't mind that. Maybe I should make it go sideways on purpose. No, I won't. I'll stick it straight. Another time I might make it go sideways. All right, I'm liking it a lot. The other thing you could do, I've got a tiny little mark down here where I bent the paper back. You could easily put some of the glittery organza ribbon down the bottom. That would look really nice. I could do that, but anyway, let's add some bling. And I'm thinking maybe we could add some of the little pool party bling from this one, or we could even, yeah, I think I prefer the blue. That's a possibility. We could go with iridescent pearls. They look fun. And we've got good old iridescent rhinestones. They go with everything. So, but what do we think? Do we have a preference? Ah, true. That's right. Snow gums do grow sideways when there's been too much snow, and this is definitely too much snow. Even with the lopsided tree. I know I like the lopsided tree too. I'm wondering if I should have just left it lopsided, but either way, it's kind of cute. All right, I'm going to make an executive decision, and I'm going to go with the pool party little bling because I think it's really pretty. I'm going to have one up here and have a little guy up here. I'm going to call it finished. What do you think? Do we like it? Isn't this a fun little card? I like the way the snow, by having them offset and not lined up together, it looks like snowy, like a house in the middle of nowhere, really, in some snowy things. So there we go. Oh, Anita, I've already put the bling on, and you said pearls. I could change it, but they still look okay. I think I'll stick with them. What do you think? I'm glad you like it, Nicole. Thank you. It's very sweet, and it's a fun set. So the fun set is going to retire, and the stamp set is not being discounted. I keep getting those words mixed up. It's not being discounted, but the dies are going to be discounted and quite heavily. So you want to wait to get those because they'll be a really good price. But don't buy it as a bundle because then you only get 10% off, and you're better off buying them separate. Yeah, thank you. Thanks very much. It is a super cute card. All right, pop that aside. And then I'm going to talk about something that someone asked me to talk about. I don't know if she's here tonight. Is Wendy Lynch here? Because Wendy asked me to answer a question that she had. She saw a card that I posted the other day. And I'll show you the dies. Give me a second. I'm just going to reorganize my desk because I've got stuff everywhere now. And that's the story of my life. I started out with a nice, neat desk, and in no time at all, it looks like a bomb hit it. All right, these are the dies. These are called Artisan Edition dies. And if I can see the card that I made the other day, I've done a couple of cards with this. And it's using this one here. Okay, and Wendy asked a really good question. Okay, she said, it looks like that die seems to sit squarely in the middle of our cardstock, but what happens if it doesn't? So here's what I'm trying to explain, and making a really bad job of it. Okay, when I put this on a card, okay, so here's the card we just made. All right, just say this was a blank card piece. If I put this in the middle, you can see we've got a similar amount on around all four sides. Okay, and it seems to fit on there really, really well. Okay, now I work for an American company called Stampin Up, and Stampin Up, largely most of their demonstrators and customers are in the US and Canada. The rest of us use metric, but the US and Canada use a thing called a letter cardstock, which means in the US particularly, they're using inches, so they're using imperial, and things that fit their cardstock don't always fit ours. Okay, a few years ago we used to have a what was it called? I can't remember what it's called, but it was an embossing folder that had tulips all the way around the outside of the embossing folder. Does anyone remember the one I'm talking about? Ooh, that's good to know. I like that, Nicole. If creativity comes from chaos, I am the most creative person you've ever met. Because you should see this place right now. Oh my goodness. All right. This one fits beautifully on our cardstock, but will also fit on the US size cardstock. But not all of them do. And I was looking through to see what we've got. We've got a couple of different ones in here that kind of make me think about this. So we haven't had an embossing folder that doesn't suit, because the thing about that tulip embossing, you have the tulip border. That's it, the tulip border embossing folder. There you go, Nicole. Thank you. Okay, so what was different about that? See, these ones, all the ones that are in our catalogue, you can just run them off the ends and cover the whole piece of cardstock, no matter what size your cardstock is. Okay, but the tulip border embossing folder had a border of tulips, so it had to go on a specific size piece of paper, and it did not actually match our A4 papers. So we had a couple of choices, okay, and we have the similar thing with a couple of dies. So for example, the Scallop Contours dies, the very largest one is not a good match on our A4 paper, okay. But I'm not going to tell you that you shouldn't get it. I think it's a fantastic die, and there are ways to make it work for us, and that's what I wanted to talk to you about. So I hope this is making sense. And Wendy, if you're watching, I'm trying to answer your question as best I could, and this is why I didn't reply to you in a comment, because it just would have taken forever, because I had to explain it a little bit more in depth. Okay, when you look at these, okay, so the largest, it tells you the size of the largest die in the book. Okay, so it says the Scallop Contours dies, the largest die is 5 1/4 by 4, which means it's going to really well match the US card front size. Okay, but for us, it's going to be a little bit too short, and it's going to go all the way to the edges, but it's going to be a little bit too short. So what do? How do we get around that? Okay, I've got another, the potted succulents is the same. So it's 5 3/8 by 4. Once again, bit too short. In fact, that's a little bit shorter again than the other one that we just looked at. And when you go through, always look at the size. So this one tells you the dots and spots is 5 3/4 by 4 1/2, but that's actually not a problem because it goes off the ends. Okay, it's not contained, so you can just go off the edges. So that's easy. Okay, but ones that this one's 5 by 3 3/4. That one's not going to be too bad because it's going to well and surely fit inside. Okay, it's not all the four. I'm not doing a terrible job of trying to explain this, but there are some that work better than others. This one is the one I just showed you. This one right here. Okay, this one is only 3 1/4 by 4 3/4, so it fits on fine onto any size cardstock. Okay, it's actually fine, but some of the others are not. Now there's one that I have to show you tonight, and I thought I would try and do this better than I did the other day when I tried to explain it. It's this one. This is in the True Beauty bundle, okay, and the set of dies is called Organic Beauty, and you can see it's got this great big die here that looks like a trellis. Okay, I love this die. It's fantastic. And I did do, here's an example. Okay, one way to make it work is just to go ahead and use it. Okay, so I cut my paper. This is our paper. You can see there's some sticking out the bottom, and it almost goes to the top, but I have got some sticking out the bottom. I just chose to leave it like that and just called it fine. I could have cut this front piece a little bit shorter to match it, but I didn't worry about it. Okay, so this was from one of the craft alongs a couple of months ago, but that's a good example of one. It's a die that goes all the way to the edge. It's our 10.5 centimeter wide metric paper, but here, this piece here does not go the full length. Okay, so that's a good example. So I thought I'd show you a way to deal with it, because with the tulip border die, I discovered a lot of people were complaining and saying, look, it doesn't fit our cardstock. We can't use it unless we cut our cardstock down. And we can do that. You can cut your cardstock down, but there's another way of going with it and just embracing it and working with it at the size that it is. So I'm going to show you, and I hope this is going to work, one way of doing it. Okay, it's a little bit of an unusual way. I've cut my A4 cardstock into 2 pieces. Let me grab. Okay, so this is a piece of A4 cardstock, and I've cut it exactly in half at the 10.5 centimeter mark because it's 21 centimeters wide. So 10.5 is exactly halfway, and that gives me 2 pieces. Okay, but I normally go the other way to get this size, but this time I cut it vertically instead of horizontally. Okay, so I'm actually going to go ahead and I'm going to fold this over at the halfway mark. And some of you may have seen this sort of thing done before, but this is just one way of making it work, even though it doesn't really quite work. All right, now I've already gone ahead, and I hope I've done it right because I did it really wrong the other day. This piece is going to go in here, and can you see what the problem is? So it sticks out the two sides, but it goes all the way across. Okay, so that's not really ideal. All right, so I'm going to pull, actually before I pull this off, I'm going to grab my brush tool. I've already cut this ready to go. Okay, I just hadn't taken it off because I wanted to have it one solid piece to show you how it sits on the cardstock. And I'm just going to push out all the little diamonds. All right, there's only a few left, so I'm going to pull that off. And I hope I did this right. I've actually run this through with an adhesive sheet on the back to make it easier to stick. So you can just cut it out and then run your Tombow along, but that's a lot harder than using adhesive sheets, unless you completely mess up how you use the adhesive sheets, which is what I did on the demonstrator planning place the other day when I was demonstrating a card there, and completely messed it up that I abandoned so badly that I had to abandon the card altogether and end up with a card that took me in a totally new direction. All right, so what I'm going to do, this is going to end up here. Can you see if I go right to the edges, it goes like that. And then we've got this little bit left over. So what you can do, all right, is you can actually score this little bit right here, which is going to create a different fold. Has anyone seen this done before and know what I'm talking about? You're probably thinking, she's gone bonkers. What's she doing? Okay, where'd I put my trimmer? Oh, here it is. All right, so I'm going to get rid of my cutting blade, so that's all the way down the bottom. I'm going to open my card, and when I put this, actually, you know what? I'm going to stick it on first, so you get a full, I just hope I did this right. And where is the backing piece? Here it is. So I've actually, I think I did it right. Wouldn't that be awesome? All right, so I've got my pieces here, and I'm just going to peel this off because this is the adhesive sheets. And I've got these little gaps or little splits in the back to make it easier to pick up. And one more. Right, so that was running it through with the adhesive. If you don't have the adhesive sheets, they are fantastic. Really, really fantastic. So I'm actually, with this folded, I'm going to put this right down here at the very edge. And I'm going to push the whole thing down because it's sticky. So it's going to stick. Isn't that easier than trying to glue a trellis in place? All right, so it's looking like this. Okay, and then I've got this section here. See that? So I'm going to put this in my trimmer. And right next to that white edge there, I'm going to use my scoring blade. And I'm going to score. I'm going to score pretty hard. I really want to make sure it goes. I'm going to try again. It's not hard enough because I was too close to the white edge. All right. Okay. And so what I'm now going to do is I'm going to fold that back right there on that score line. Okay. Can you see now how this is looking like that? And I'm going to grab, you can use tape, Tombow. I'll use tape because it'll probably, it'll be easier to see what I'm doing if I use tape. Have I got any tear and tape handy? This will do. All right, so I'm going to pop that straight down that piece there. And it's going to be like, I don't know what you call this. Is it a bookbinding edge? I don't actually know. But this is a way of getting this to work. And then we're just going to fold it down on itself. And now your card is going to open a little differently. Can you see that? So your card is going to open with this little edge. And it looks like it's supposed to be like that. I actually really like that. And you can put a ribbon around here if you want to. I've seen that done a few times. In fact, shall we do that? Because I am going to make a card out of this. Book fold. There you go. I thought it was called that. So you guys know what I'm talking about. I hope you do. All right, so I'm thinking that we need to have a scallopy kind of a, I'm thinking a sort of, so the stamp set that goes with this is called True Beauty. It's in the annual catalogue and it's a favourite of mine. I really, really like it. True Beauty, here it is. And I'm going to be using, this is one of the sets I'm going to be using in one of the alternate cards that I'm going to show you tomorrow at the craft along. I recorded the videos for that today. I'm really, really excited about it because I'm really happy with the videos. They all turned out beautiful. And we love that, right? Okay, so I've just this second made a decision and I've decided I am going to use the scalloped rectangle. And so I'm going to bring this in again. I'm going to grab some white. There we go. This will be a good size, left over from before. All right, so I'm just going to run that through. All right, so this is going to end up on here like this. Well, I've got a little bit of glue stuck on there, and I don't like it when the glue sticks on there because it looks messy, so I'm just going to take it off with my adhesive. Remember, we do not sell these anymore. This is the only thing tonight that I'm using that you cannot purchase. Everything else you can purchase, but not this little guy. These are fantastic, so good. You can probably still get them at like Spotlight or somewhere, and I'm sure you can. I'm still sure they're still available, but we used to have them in our catalogue and they were awesome. All right, so this is going to go here, and I'm deciding. All right, so let's do a couple of flowers. I'm thinking maybe I will. And I'm going to use, because it's a really nice little stamp, it says you are a true friend. It's really pretty. Grab this one right here. What color shall we do it? I think I'm going to go Blackberry Bliss. And I'm going to have it down here towards the bottom. Just like that. And I'm deciding what stamps I want to have on the rest of it. So I'm going to use Polish Pink and Blackberry Bliss. I'm using that colour combo tomorrow as well. Not the blue, but I'm using those two colours because they look really lovely together. And then I'm going to use, let me find my Blackberry. Have I got a sponge dauber handy? Because sponge dauber is perfect for adding some colour. It's all right. I'll just grab one of these sponge daubers out of my pack. Here we go. That one will do. And I'm going to add some Blackberry to the bottom of this. And let's pop that right there. Look how nice that looks. See, you've got the Blackberry at the bottom blending into the Polish Pink. Looks so good. Love, love, love that. It's such a beautiful color combo. Who would have thought Polish Pink and Blackberry Bliss would look so good together? Right, so I realized I'm starting to get myself messed up because I've still got stamps here from like the Sweet Gingerbread. I need to be cleaning up as I go, but that's okay. I'll sort it out once we're done. All right. Maybe I'll just do, this is a fun little stamp. It's kind of like a daisy, but I'll do one in polished pink. And I'm going to do one in the blackberry. Blackberry is such a nice color. It's really, yeah, one of my favorites at the moment. I'm very excited about all my Blackberry Bliss stuff. Now I'm going to use Mossy Meadow, which is my favorite neutral green, probably even with Evening Evergreen and Soft Succulent. I still come back to Mossy Meadow all the time because it's such a great color combo. Right, so let's pop that on here. And we're going to do a few little leaves. Might do one down here as well. There's room there for one. And then I'm deciding I may or may not use it, but I'm thinking I will see if I need this one. Is there room for this? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know if there's going to be room or not. But anyway, you're getting the idea, I hope. And these are just really lovely. I'm very close to the edge there, but we'll see. We might be able to manage that. Now, am I going to use all these? Possibly not, but that's okay. I have choices now. And if I don't use them all, I can use them on another card. All right, so let's use our Organic Beauty dies. Just going to put these away. I'm trying to tidy up as I go, and you know that's challenging for me. So Organic Beauty should be over here. All right. It's here somewhere, guys. That's the main one. All right, so here's what we'll do. I'm not going to put it all together right now. I'm going to put it together after, but this is going to go up the top most likely. I'm going to have a couple of these with the leaves coming out from behind. I think that'll look really pretty. And I will finish this off because if I go too much later now, it's going to be too late. And I don't want to keep anyone I know I'd really like you to come back tomorrow. So I'm not going to finish putting this together right now. But I'm hoping you're going to see how beautiful this is looking. And I am going to put probably a ribbon down the side here, which I think will look really nice. Does anyone have any? Oh, the sound's breaking up. Yeah, definitely time for me to go. Definitely. But not stamping. That's okay, Nicole. Oh, wow. That sounds fun. I hope that you enjoy that. Ooh, that stained window sounds beautiful. I'm just looking to see. But I'm hoping that the whole point was to show you another way of using this, keeping your card to metric size. Of course, you could cut it down, but you could actually make a feature of this side piece, pop a ribbon in there, and make it like an unusual fold card, which is kind of interesting. So that's what I'm working with it. And you will see the finished card over the next day or two up on my Facebook and Instagram pages. And I might even show you tomorrow if I've got it finished ready for tomorrow's class. I'll show you then. Okay, I hope it's not you, Denise, but I kind of hope it is, because then it's not me. If that makes sense. That was a really bad sentence. All right, so I'm going to say good night. I'm going to finish up. We got a half-made card and we have a finished card, which I'm really happy with this one. This is super cute. Really like it. And I hope you like it too. But I will see you all tomorrow, I hope. 2 o'clock for the craft along. Don't forget. And for those of you who have the supplies, fantastic. For those of you who don't, all the things that you're going to need are listed on my blog. Okay. So have a fantastic night, guys. And we'll see you hopefully tomorrow. Bye.